Okay, so now again, remember, I'll probably just go down and maybe do the odds. All right. But again, everyone at the top of the page, right, should be able to write y equals mx plus b and y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, and then ax plus by equals c. Those are the three forms. All right, if you recall, the first one is called slope-intercept. And the reason it's called slope-intercept because you use the slope and the y-intercept. The second one is what? Point slope form. And you use that when you have a point and a slope. And then there is standard form. And we don't really use standard form much. All right, we really don't. All right, the one that's primarily used, we would say, is the point slope form. All right. Now, again, by far, the most important thing is being able to write equations of lines. All right, that will be with you in every single math class. All right, so here we go. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. All right, so the first one is just a no-brainer. It's just what?
3x minus 4.
Y equals, you're right, 3x minus 4. All right, any questions with that? All right, now for number 2, if we're perpendicular, what's true about the slopes? So the slope of the perpendicular would be what?
-2.
And it passes through what point? What point does it pass through? Thank you, say it. 4, 0. All right, it passes through 4, 0. Remember, the x-intercept means that the y value is 0. If you forgot that, that's super important. Make sure you write that. The x-intercept is y equals 0. Now, I tell kids the best way, because you have a slope and a point, just use what first? Yeah, point slope form. So y minus the y value. What's the y value? 0 equals, what's the slope? Parentheses. Thank you, x minus 4. All right, that's considered point slope form. All right, now we're going to knock it out and put it in y-intercept or slope-intercept. So we just say y equals -2x plus 8. Anybody have any issues with that? All right, write in the equation of lines. Yes.
What's the -1?
What is the -1? The y-intercept of this line.
Okay.
Do you agree with me? All right, we're creating a whole new line. That's why that -1 doesn't matter. All right, parallel means the slope is what? So the slope of the parallel line is equal to what? Passing through what point? 6, 7. All right. So now I think we should just write it in what form? Point slope. Why do we write it in point slope? You have a point and you have a what? Slope. So here we go. Someone tell me, what's the equation? Go.
Y minus 7 equals 2/3 times x minus 6.
That's exactly right. Nothing to it. All right. Now, because we are great at mental math, all right, distribute the 2/3 and then add 7. Do that all in your head. And then tell me what the answer is. Go.
Y equals 2/3 x plus 11.
3.
What is it? Right, because this is negative, right?
Yeah.
That's -4. All right. And then -4 plus 7. Anybody have any issues with that? All right, so let's check out number 4. All right, so what's the slope of the parallel line going to be? What? -1/4. Come on, guys, come on. And what point is it going through? 4, 0. So everybody write the equation. Someone different, tell me.
Y minus 0 equals -1/4 times x minus 4.
Brilliant. Perfect. So your final answer now is y equals. Distribute the -1/4.
-1/4 x plus 1.
Perfect. Easy as that. Easy. Anybody have any issues? All right, so do me a favor. Let's highlight 5 and 7. All right. 5 and 7, that's what I want you to do tonight. All right, now let's go to the next one. Slope-intercept form. Number 9. From the graph, someone tell me what the equation is. Y equals, go ahead.
3x and then minus 1.
3x minus 1. Right? The slope is 3 because we go up 3 and over 1. And the y-intercept is what? -1. Anybody have a problem with that? Anybody have an issue? Okay, number 10. Horizontal lines are always what? Y equals -1. All horizontal lines are y equals, all verticals are what? X equals. All right, let's just knock out 11. Come on, someone else, speak up. Y equals. Good. -2x. 3. Good job. Y equals -2x plus 3. Anybody have any issue with that? Everybody's good? Now, again, slope-intercept. Change slope-intercept because we already did that. We're just going to leave it in what? We're going to change it to point slope. Everybody change it to point slope. All right, so Harrison, tell me about 12. What's that going to be?
Point slope.
Yep.
Y minus or y plus 3 equals 3 times x minus 1.
Perfect. James, number 14.
So y plus 5 equals -2 times x.
Yes, brilliant. All right, now remember, you guys are supposed to speak up if I'm not clear on something. Everybody's good with writing the equations of lines? All right, number 16. Go ahead, Lucas.
Y, let's do the one on the right. Y minus 1
Y minus 1.
equals -3 over 2. X plus 3.
Does anybody else get -3 over 2 as a slope? Double check him now.
No, it's positive, isn't it?
How did you do it? Did you do 1 minus -2? Or,
Yeah.
so 1 minus -2 is 3. Then -3 plus 1, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right, if you do the other direction, it'll be -3 over +2. You with me on that? And again, that's just easy mistakes, all right? There's gonna put a bunch of negatives in there for that reason. All right. Anybody have any trouble with the slope? M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, Olivia, you're up.
Y plus 6 equals 3x.
Everybody okay with that? Anybody have any issues with that? All right. Jackson, you're up.
Number 20.
Yes. What's the slope of the perpendicular? Come on.
The slope is -1/3, so it'd be -3.
Close.
Oh, it's just
Just 3, right? Okay, now write the equation.
y minus y. -1 minus 4.
Whoa, what are we doing? The equation, you said y minus y1 equals m times, that's the equation. True?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is x1, this is y1, and this is your slope. So you're just plugging those numbers into the equation. So what is it?
2 plus 1.
Where are you getting 2 plus 1?
Because you're adding 3 to the y1 because the slope is 3.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Y minus, what is the y value that we're talking about?
-1.
So it's y plus 1 equals
Oh, we're not supposed to solve the first one. 3
3.
times x minus 3.
Beautiful. All right, now remember, guys, this is for you. This has nothing to do with me. All right, you're going to Algebra 2 next year. All right. And you're going to be taking, if you're going to private school, they're going to be asking you questions. All right. They're all basic questions. All right, nothing complicated. All right, but you got to know how to do it. So if you're not understanding, I don't even care. All right, I want to help you. All right. So if you're not writing the equations, all right, you're not going to be able to do it. All right. So now highlight 13 and 15. Do those for homework. All right. Now, again, using your calculator. All right, let's do that. All right. I want everybody to be able to use their calculator. All right. So we're not plotting the points. I don't care about that because we're going to let the calculator plot the points. So grab your calculator if you have it. All right. If not, kind of buddy up and take a quick look. All right. So first stat, does everybody remember you hit the stat button? Then you hit the edit. And then does everybody see L1 and L2? Everybody good on that part? Stat, edit. Stat, edit. L1 and L2, right? Everyone needs to have L1 and L2. Under L1 are the what? X's. Under L2 is the? So everybody type that in. Type 1, 3, 4, type those numbers in. Are you allowed to type 10 in?
No.
No, because it'll be an error. You're going to try to figure out what 10 is after you write the equation line. Anybody have any questions so far? Stat, edit, L1 is the X, L2 is the Y. 30 more seconds. Now, we want the calculator to calculate that line of best fit, correct? So now we hit the stat button again. Then you go over to calc. Then you go down, I think it's number 4, linear regression, correct? Hit line reg, and then hit enter all the way through to the very end. Now, if it were me, I would have put y equals mx plus b, right? But for some reason they put what? Ax plus b. Don't be confused by that. So it comes out the equation would be y equals what? Say it.
1.937
Okay, we'll do the 3 decimal place, 1.937x, then what?
minus 0.866.
There you have it. What? Tell me.
I put 10 and 1 because I thought you're supposed to put 10 and it won't let me get rid of it.
Yes, it will. Go to 10 and then delete.
Like clear, it's not clear. Right?
Delete. DEL. There's a delete button on there. That's why I don't understand. Why don't you just ask me? I'm going to end up telling you anyway. All right. Is it out?
Yeah.
Now you go to stat, go over to calc, down to number 4, hit enter all the way through. That good now? All right. Now what you do is you plug 10 in for x. So 1.937 times 10 minus 0.866, and somebody tell me what that value is.
I have
18.5,
Yeah, that's
18.5 roughly. Do I really even care? No, because it's an estimation. All right, now I kind of want to show you how you can put those points on the graph. All right, I want to show you how you can physically see them on the graph. All right, first, everyone go to y equals. Ready, hit y equals for me. Now, under right at the bottom of the top, does everybody see stat plot? Right, you need to turn the calculator's ability to plot points on. So you have to go up there and turn it on. Does everybody agree with me on that? Hello, everybody's with me? So you turn it on, it should be dark right now. I mean, it should be light. So you turn it on and it's shaded in. All right. Now, if you remember, there's this thing called zoom stat. So hit zoom and then go down until where you get stats and it'll plot the points for you. Everybody agree with that? Does it come up? Zoom stat. Zoom. I think it's 9, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Zoom 9. So if you hit zoom and 9, it'll plot the points for you. Did it plot your points? Okay, did you turn your points on? Y equals, go above. You got to hit the up arrow and hit enter. Now it should be highlighted dark and then go to zoom 9 and it worked. Now, what I want everybody to do is go back down to Y1 now and type in this equation under Y1. Type in that equation to Y1 and you can see how it mirrors those points. Now, please just ask if you have a question. I understand there's a lot. We haven't done this in forever. Or I'm not expecting you to know how to do that. I'm just showing you how cool your calculator is. All right. Everybody get it up there? So the line of best fit should, go closely to those points. Anybody have any questions with that? All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and quickly do number 2. Everybody do number 2 real quick. Now, remember, you clear a list. You don't delete a list. All right, you clear a list. So if you want to clear the list, you have to go above where it says L1, go above and hit clear and then go down. It automatically cleared out if you want. You can also just type right over the data. What?
I hit stat and number 4 says clear list. Is that-
You can do that also. But it's just not as effective in my opinion.
I'm sorry, how do you get it to the thing again? Like,
I don't know what you mean the thing again.
Stat, and then
How do you get to plot the points?
Yeah.
Zoom stat, zoom 9.
Okay, thank you.
Does it come up now? If it doesn't come up, that means you haven't plotted, you haven't turned on the points
Oh,
yet.
no, like,
it's a zoom or a
It's stat edit, stat and then stat.
okay,
All right, so everybody do number 2. And the only thing I care about right now is what is the value for y when x is 50.
We just like not put 3 in the chart.
I don't know what you mean. Would we not put 3 on the chart?
I'm looking at the
We're on number 2. Type in the x's, type in the y's. What?
I got it.
What is 50?
52.8.
50, somebody said 52.8 roughly. Now remember, I also want you to go to Zoom stat and make sure you put that so you can see the points that are on the graph. Anybody have any questions? Elise, you got it? Maren, you good? All right, now everyone highlight number 3, do that for homework also. Oh, what was the equation for number 2, by the way? Y equals what?
0.954x plus 5.466.
Something like that.
I just didn't put the line in there.
All right, here we go. Next. Okay, so for some reason, this is difficult. All right, I'm not understanding why people find this difficult. All right. All right, so now please pay attention. All right. Again, this is just following directions. All right, we are simply following directions. So we are going to graph, and by the way, these are called piecewise functions. Now, the only reason I can think of why they're called piecewise is because the function is in what? Pieces. All right, the function is in pieces. All right, so here we go. So now look, really listen, because it's super duper easy. All right, but for whatever reason, people have a hard time. All right. There are 3 graphs here. This one, this one, and this one. There are 3 graphs. 3 graphs go on one graph. But you're only graphing -1 for values that are what? Less than or equal to 0. You're graphing 2x for values between 0 and 3. And you're graphing 6 for all values greater than 3. So what does that mean? All right. Well, y equals -1 is an open circle, no, not open, a closed at 0, and then going to the left. That's the graph of y equals -1. Anybody have a problem with that? Now, why did I stop at 0? Because it says graph it for all x values that are less than or equal to 0. Everybody good with that? So now I'm going to graph what next? I'm going to graph 2x for all values between 0 and 3. So what's the first number greater than 0? I knew you were going to say that.
0.0000.
Yeah, there is no first number greater than 0. There isn't a first number greater than 0. All right. So that's why you use a what? use an open circle. All right, that means everything up to 0, but not including 0. All right, so if I were to plug 0 into that equation, what's 2 times 0? 0. So now I'm going to blow this up and I'm going to make an open circle on 0. And now I'm going to graph 2x until I get to what number? 3. If I plot 3 into the equation, I'm going to get what number? 6, because 2 times 3 is 6. So now at 3, 1, 2, 3, I go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because we're smart, we know this is a line. So here we go. We're now just going to graph from here to here. Now, again, it's just part. All right, it's just a part. Now, we went from what? 0 to 3. Now we're going greater than 3. Is there a first number greater than 3?
No.
No, so we just plug 3 in. If I plug 3 in, what do I get? If I plug 3 in, what do I get? 6. Every number is what? 6. So this is a solid dot at 3, 6. Now, why is it solid?
Because it's greater than.
No, because it picks up where the other one left off. Does everybody agree with me? So it's just this right here. That's the graph.
I don't understand why it would still be a closed circle.
All right. Technically, here we go. Let me just show you something. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right. So technically, there is an open circle here, but because it's already what?
Closed circle?
Yeah, it's already closed. You with me?
Yeah.
Now, notice this down here mattered because it didn't pick up where the other one left off. All right. So basically, when you take calculus, they will teach you that this is not continuous. Up here, it is what? It is continuous. All right. Continuous and not continuous. All right. So we say the function is not continuous at x equals 0. All right. But continuous everywhere else. All right. That's it. Following directions. That's all we're doing. Following directions. So let's see about number 3 real quick. So we're going to graph y equals x for anything less than 0. So what number do I plug in first? 0. And when I plug 0 in, I get what? Is it open or closed? Open. Thank you very much. Which direction am I going? Left. So if I plug in -1, I get what? -1. And now because we're smart, we know it's just a line. So I'm just connecting that. And there's the left half. Everybody okay with that?
Why would it go down?
Where do you want it to go?
It's a +1, right? Oh, wait.
What values am I plugging in?
It's
I'm just asking a question. What numbers am I plugging in?
less than 0, right?
Right. So if I plug in -1, what do I get?
What do you mean plug in -1?
If I'm using the values that are less than 0, what numbers are less than 0? What numbers would you want to use? Anything negative. So if I plug in -1, what do I get?
-1x.
If I plug -1 in for x, what do I get?
-1.
Right. If I plug -2 in, what do I get?
-2.
So I'm forming this segment,
Okay.
right? Now, again, the slope is what here, guys? 1. So we agree? The y-intercept is 0. Is that the graph of a line with the slope of 1 and the y-intercept 0? Yeah, it just looks awkward because it looks like I'm going down, right? Which is deceptive to the eyes, because remember, we always read from left to right. We're going up the mountain, so that is a positive slope. Okay, come on.
That's not how you know if the circle is open or closed.
If it's equal to or not equal to. You with me? If it was equal to 0, I would fill it in. But there is no first number less than 0. So that means everything up to but not including. All right. So now I'm going to graph y equals 2 for anything greater than or equal to 0. So is it a solid dot or an open? Solid at here. And I'm going in this direction. Remember, this is for you guys. So come on. All right. And again, we didn't do this last year. All right. These are called piecewise functions. And like I said, I don't understand what's difficult. You're just breaking the graph into what? Pieces. And you're graphing it for those specific intervals, each graph. All right. So one more here. Number 5. So we're going to graph x squared, which I know is a problem. All right. So everybody remember x squared was a U shape. All right. Now let's say we don't remember that. We're just going to plug in 0. What's 0 squared? 0, solid dot. What's 1 squared?
1.
What's 2 squared? And there you have it. That forms the right side of the parabola. All right. Now I'm graphing negative x. Is it open or closed at 0? It's open, but because it's already closed, right? It means it's a continuous function. That's what they're getting at. All right. So this dot normally would be open, but because it's already closed, it remains closed. It's picking up right where the other one left off. Hopefully that makes sense. And then what numbers am I plugging in? Negatives. All right. So if I plug in -1, what do I get? 1. Now we know it's linear. So that means the slope remains constant. So with that being the case, we can just draw this line. And there's your graph. All right. That's your piecewise function. All right. Anybody have any issues? Come on.
Why don't you have to plug in the 4?
Why don't
Like
I?
the -4?
We could if we wanted to. You could do -4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I'm a little bit off. See? But I just make you plot what? 2 points and draw.
Okay.
All right. Okay, now number 7. So understand this is just graphing y equals 5, y equals 1, and y equals -2. And you're graphing 5 from what?
Anything between -3 and 0.
Anything between -3 and 0. So I'm counting up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open circle. And I'm going to -3. Then that would be a solid dot. Everybody okay with that? And then 1 from 0 to 2. Is it a solid dot this time?
Yeah.
Solid dot at 1. Going until I get to 2. Is that a solid dot?
Mhm.
Yep. And then -2 from what?
2,
To what?
4.
2 to 4. So -2, open circle. Then we go until 4. Solid dot at 4. And like I said, guys, honestly, that is it. All right. And that's, believe it or not, really hard. All right. I don't know why, but people find that really hard. It's just following directions. These are the X values that are using. to graph this, these, graphing that, and so on. All right. Now graphing the inequalities. All right, we got a few more minutes. We can knock this out. So if I'm going to graph the inequality, all right, it's just like graphing a line, correct? So what would I do? Go up what?
5
Up 5. Then I would go what?
to the right, 2
Wait a minute.
Down.
Down 2
Oh,
to the right 1. That would give me a slope. Does everybody agree? Down 2 to the right 1 again. Then we just connect the dots. Is it a broken line or a solid line? Solid. And we're shading which direction?
top right,
Why?
because it's on the.
Nope.
Or greater than or.
Greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. Greater than is above the line, less than is below the line.
If the slope's positive, you go like down to the left one.
Up 2 over 1. And if you run out of space, you go down 2, left 1.
Okay.
You with me on that?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Everybody take a look at number 3. What's the y-intercept? 0, 0. So here we go. Then from there, I go what? Down 4. Oh, man. And then to the right 5. What type of line? Broken. So here, let's review how to break this line. Does everybody remember how to break the line?
No, yeah, it's a 7. Right?
You go, what you can do is take your, highlight it, tap it, style, and then convert the style into, does everybody see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And then you can change it over. And then just put arrows. And then which way are we shading, guys?
Top right.
Above, correct? All right. Now I want everybody to highlight 5, 7, 9, and 11. And tomorrow we'll graph absolute values. But before we close, I want everybody to go to their calculator real quick. It's not necessary, but I just like to show kids this. Everybody go to their calculator. Go to y equals. And under y1, type in -4 divided by 5x. Everybody type that in. Everybody with me on that? Now, do you remember on the left over here, there is a line. I need you to take your cursor and go highlight that and hit enter. Everybody see that? And then an options come up. That's where you can change the color. Everybody with me? You can also change the inequality. Right now it's an equal to. So you're going to highlight over the inequality and you're going to shift the arrow left and right. And you want it to be greater than, so you want it shaded above. Greater than is shaded above. All right, so click on that setting and then go down. I think you have to hit OK. And then graph it. And it should have shaded for you now. Right? Does that make sense? Is everybody getting that? The shading part. I'm just trying to make sure my directions were clear. Some of you are not paying attention, so I wouldn't expect you to know, right? If you're paying attention, I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying. All right, so under Y1, right, you're taking your cursor and moving it over to the left and hit enter. Then a screen comes up. You want to go down to the screen, not that controls the color, but controls the shading. All right, you want to move your cursor. I don't remember if it was to the right or to the left until you get to the one where it shades above. The one that's shaded above is the greater than. The one shaded below would be the what? If it was what? Less than. But I always thought this was kind of a dumb thing because if you don't know how to shade a line up or down, we're in a little bit of trouble. All right, for greater than or less than. But that's just another tool on your calculator that can help you solve these inequalities. Anybody have any questions? All right, so we have a whole 2 minutes, guys. I highlighted ones I want you to try to knock out. All right, guys, practice is the key. Practice is the key.
How do you know when it's a broken line?
Broken line, remember, is if it's greater than or less than. When it's equal to, that's the solid line. Equal to is a solid line. All right, very good job today, guys. Thank you very much.